Long ago, on the land of Palestine, there was a small village nestled in the valley of Bethsaida. That village was once full of life. Golden crops waved in the fields. The wells were filled with cool, sweet water. Children ran through the streets. Women sang songs by the wells. But that year, everything changed. No rain came. 1 month passed, then 2, then 6. The sky burned like copper. The fields dried up. The wells went empty. Leaves fell from the trees. The cattle grew weak. People's faces were filled with exhaustion. Their eyes had lost hope. But there was another pain in that village: Miriam. In one corner of the village stood a small hut. In that hut lived a woman named Ruth, and Ruth had a daughter, Miriam, 12-year-old innocent Miriam. She was once the liveliest girl in the village. Her laughter made neighbors smile. Her feet never stayed still. But for many months now, she had been fighting a disease that no healer could name. Her face had turned pale, like dust covering the moon. Her hands trembled. Her voice had grown faint. Her breathing had become weak. Every night, Ruth would place her hand on her daughter's forehead and cry. She had brought medicines from faraway places. She had prayed in every temple. She had bowed before every healer. But Miriam was slowly slipping toward death. The news. Then one morning, before the sun had fully risen, a rumor spread through the village like fire. "Lord Jesus is coming. He will pass through this road." Someone said, "He gave sight to the blind." Another said, "He raised the dead." Someone whispered, "Just touch his garment. Just one glance is enough." At that moment, Ruth was placing a wet cloth on Miriam's forehead. She heard the news, and in her broken heart, a small flame lit up, just a tiny flame. But in darkness, that is enough, on the road. Ruth didn't think twice. She lifted Miriam in her arms, so light now her bones could be felt, and sat by the road where Lord Jesus was expected to pass. The sun was harsh. The ground was burning. Miriam's eyes were closed. Her breathing was faint. Ruth kept repeating in her heart, "Lord, just once, just once." 1 hour passed, then 2. People came and went. An old man said, "Take her home. Why let her suffer in this heat?" A neighbor said, "Let go of this hope. He goes to big cities, not to people like us." But Ruth did not move. A mother's hope does not get tired. The arrival. And then, in the distance, dust began to rise. A calm, gentle figure walked along the dusty road. Behind him was a large crowd. People followed him. Some were talking. Some just wanted to stay close. But his face carried a strange peace, like a lamp burning steadily in the middle of a storm. Jesus Christ stopped near the village, and then his eyes fell on Ruth sitting in the corner, and on pale, lifeless Miriam. The crowd kept moving. The noise continued, but Jesus walked toward them himself. The water pot behind him was a disciple holding a small clay pot filled with water. Jesus stopped. He reached out and gently touched the pot, closed his eyes. His lips moved, but no sound was heard. Just a moment of silence. Then he looked at Miriam and smiled. A smile warmer than the sun. He said, "This village has very sweet water." That was all. No long speech, no conditions, no questions. He looked at Ruth, blessed her, and walked on, a mother's faith. Ruth didn't understand. Sweet water, she wondered. But then, her heart said, "Enough, just believe." She asked the disciple for the pot. Her hands trembled. She dipped her fingers into the water, just a few drops, and gently touched Miriam's forehead. The whole village held its breath. No one spoke. Even the wind seemed to stop. The miracle 1 moment, 2 moments, 3 moments, And then Miriam's eyelids moved. Slowly, her eyes opened. Her pale face began to glow pink again, like a dry rose touched by water. Her cheeks filled out. Color returned to her lips. She looked at her mother and softly said, with a weak but clear voice, "Mother, I am hungry." Ruth broke down in tears. Tears that had been held back for months finally flowed. But this time, they were not of pain. They were tears of gratitude. The whole village stood stunned. No one could speak. The girl who was on the edge of death was now sitting up, healthy, smiling, the end far away. Jesus had already walked ahead. He did not look back. He didn't need to. He knew. Lord Jesus gave no long speech. He set no conditions. He asked for no reward, just a touch, a smile, a blessing. Because where true faith exists, a miracle does not need much. Just a single drop is enough. Glory to Lord Jesus Christ.